Hello everybody, Joe Bagdones here, and welcome back for another episode of One. Sorry I didn't record last night, or upload last night. I didn't do either of those things. I had some stuff going on yesterday, so I was up until like noon, didn't go to bed till like past 12. So, woke up, it was already late in the evening, like, so late I did not have time to record a full-length episode, hour plus. So, here I am, first thing in the morning, after I got home from work. It's a little past 8 a.m. right now. Oh god. Sorry if I'm a little, coughing a bit. Not if I'm coffee, that's a drink. I had a milkshake with my breakfast. Don't fucking judge me. I was working last night and didn't have time to get dinner. I don't care what the IHOP people think. I'm a fucking grown-ass man, and if I want to order a vanilla milkshake with whipped cream at fucking 7:30 when I get off, that's my own prerogative. But anyway, don't worry about the text being different from where we just left off. If for whatever reason you're watching this sometime after it's uploaded and you're going episode to episode, it was just ellipses, and whenever I right-clicked to that was a left click. What? Hello? Does any click do that? What? Okay, that was weird. I definitely hit the right mouse button and it advanced the text, but it was just ellipses, as you can see. But anyway, enough rambling. I'll just start reading, so that way you will be able to continue listening to me, but actually what you came here for instead of me, because no one ever, shows up for me. Being me, Okay, yeah, let's continue diving into Kohei's inner deep thoughts about eternity and watching the city from far off. Ellipses, so miracles do happen after all. Amazingly, I've woken up before Nagamori has arrived. I get up from my bed and open the curtains. Rain, huh? Come to think of it, the TV had mentioned something like that yesterday evening. It seems I have a habit of getting up early on days when it rains. If Nagamori heard about this, I bet she'd say something like, "If only it rained every day." Still, in contrast to my usual panicky, time-deficient mornings, waking up early has left me with nothing to do. I hate that. I always end up just, decluttering my couch, because my couch is directly across the entranceway of my door, so I come in and just anything I'm either carrying or my uniform when I get home from work just gets tossed right on it. For now, I decide to dress myself and head downstairs. It also ends up being a trap for any plastic bags or whatever that I'm carrying that I just throw on there and then take out what I need. I'm not going to carry the entire Walmart bag upstairs to just put a thing of deodorant up by the sink. I chew on some bread in the living room while watching TV. Even after all this relaxing, though, there's still time. Guess I'll go to school. There's really nothing else left to do. I bet Nagamori isn't gonna come complaining to me about this later. Is going to. Okay. I don't even know what I just said when I read that sentence before. See, normally you deal with slow brain, just woken up me. Now you're dealing with slow brain, I've been awake for a really long time me. She's always hassling me to get up early, but she gets angry if I leave first. I'll leave a note for her. How thoughtful. Tearing a page from the memo pad in the living room, I leave the note addressed to Nagamori. I'm going to speed up the text speed because I feel like that's half of me stumbling. Half of the reason I'm stumbling over my words is I try to look ahead to see what the sentence is going to be, but it's just moving too slow. There we go. Stinging onto the door, I head towards school by myself. Because that's part of, if you don't know, here's a little insight into how the human mind works. When you read a sentence, you don't look at every single word and every single letter and sound it out and spell it. You just kind of look at it as a wall of text, and you recognize the words, and your brain makes assumptions about what the sentence is going to be. That's why you'll notice, well, it's partly because I'm really dumb and have a zero attention span, but when I'm reading a sentence, sometimes I'll just make stuff up that's not there, Because that's what my brain is telling me. Oh, I think this is what is going to come next in the sentence because of, all the previous sentences you have ever read in your entire life. And you're like, oh, thank you, brain. And then it turns out to not be what's on the screen at all. That's my little linguistics human brain lesson for you. That'll be $5. It's raining on the way to school. Dodging splashes from the cars on the road, I walk on the inner side of the footpath. Familiar sights of the city are wreathed in a white fog, looking for a somewhat new and refreshing view. At last, I pass by a certain place. My feet unconsciously come to a stop. Hello, empty lot. It's a place I pass by every day. A place I hadn't paid the slightest attention to until now. Lightly brushing off the droplets of rain from my umbrella, I step into that place. A pink umbrella peeks out from between the shadows of the weeds. An umbrella that I've seen before. So, we meet again. My classmate replies as she stands in the middle of that empty lot. Hello, music. Why are you freaking out like that? Don't fight me, milkshake. It's only the second time that we've met here. Want to go to school together? It's getting late enough for you to be concerned. I look at my watch. It's 8:25. I was about to say that's pretty close to what it is right now, but it's almost 9 o'clock. If we start walking now, we'll just barely make it. In spite of that, shit doesn't move. We'll really be late, Yeah, but running in the rain isn't fun. Sighing with impatience, I ask her another question. Just what's so special about this place anyway? Sedamura replies with silence. Very productive conversation. Well, whatever. Oh, looks like the rain stopped. Very abrupt. Still looks as cloudy as ever, but it seems that the rain's no longer coming down. Shaking off the droplets, I close my umbrella. Aren't you glad it's not raining anymore? Sedamura? As I turn to look back, Sedamura is nowhere to be seen in the empty lot. I hear a voice from behind me. When I turn around, Sedamura is already standing on the footpath with her umbrella folded. Whoa! Just when did you get there? Lowering her eyes, she quickly walks onward. Wait for me! I hurriedly rush out of the empty lot. Eh? I left you a note, didn't I? What, you stuffed the note in your pocket? That's ridiculous! I stuck it onto the door! The bathroom door. Well, knowing you, I thought the first thing you'd do is peek in the bathroom. What? She heaves a long sigh. Yeah, okay. Nodding, I fall into a step behind her. Looking up, I can see the charcoal clouds being pushed away by the wind. Glimpses of bluish parts are visible in the distant skies. I guess it's not gonna rain again today. Hey, Nanase. Having to dispense with the greeting, she takes her seat. I take a look at the neighboring Sumi's face, but he ignores me with an unreadable expression, probably on purpose, because the artist only drew one sprite of him. Like the best friend character from Canon. Now, I haven't played Canon, but I have heard him referred to as the One Sprite Wonder. I don't know if I read the sentence, so I'm going to read it anyway. Looking outside the window, I can see the gleaming, rain-drenched streets. I hate driving in the rain, one, because whenever I'm driving, it's always dark outside, because it's either early in the morning, me coming home, or me going to work at night, because I have no social life whatsoever. I never leave work outside of those hours, or in the rare events I am leaving, it's because I'm going to my friend/coworker's house who also works night shift. So, case in point, the road is always dark, and when it's wet, my astigmatism causes the like lights reflecting off like the either the traffic lights or the street lamps to just become glaring lines that it's like, yep, I literally can't see. So I just have to like watch the side of the road to make sure I don't go off it. And that's why I should probably go get my eyes fixed, because I can get it done for free. Thank you, U.S. government, for paying for all my expenses. For the briefest moments, I am drawn in by the scenery. Suddenly, the sound of the class roll hitting the lectern pulls me back to reality. The class... What? Class roll? What the fuck is that? Is that like that little binder you always see teachers carrying around in anime? Not long after the beginning of first period, a folded scrap of paper bumps the edge of my table and falls onto the floor. I casually pick it up and open it with the tip of my nose. What? Popularity contest poll results. First place, drumroll, Nanase Rumi, 12 votes. Yes! Nanase, we did it! I violently muss her hair from behind. Blah. Still the middle of class. After being yelled at by the teacher, I'm meekly hanging my head. It's true, I'm being too happy about this. After all, it only means that I'm getting treated to a free lunch. Nanase turns around to face me. Part of her hair is still standing up, although she hasn't noticed. Yeah. Man, speaking of hair standing up, my hair it seems like it's always standing up on one side right now, because when I get out of the shower, I comb it. How do I do it? It's kind of back to the right. I have like a medium skin fade on the side, and how long is my hair on the top? Like 3-ish inches. So, you know, I pull it back. Oh, I comb it back. But then like that part where it's like the hairline, you know, the part, like that part right there in the front, like where it kind of swoops over. If it dries too quickly, it'll just like, I'll look like a fucking porcupine in the front. There's nothing I can do about it for the rest of the day, unless I wet it down. But then my entire hair lays flat, and I don't like that look, you know. I like that big 80s hair, you know. I feel kind of tired, but it was fun. If there's ever another one, I'll be counting. Oh, she said that. Ha ha ha. Ah, forget about it. Doubt. Hard doubt. Before I'd known it, I'd put a lot of effort. Put in a lot of effort with her. Maybe that's why I got this rare feeling of accomplishment. After all, I'm feeling just as tired as she is. Tired enough to ignore this boring class. Now I think that's just you. It's getting close to the end of fourth period. Since Saturday, this is the last period for the day. But my battle is just beginning. What, is your fucking manga getting canceled on like the 10th chapter? My race against Senpai begins as soon as the end of period chime rings. No, we do it 100%. The chime rings for the end of fourth period. The teacher closes the class roll with a thump. The moment he turns his back, I make a mad dash through the door and outside the classroom. Obviously, someone's, probably Nagamori's cries of protest coming from behind me, I sprint down the corridor without looking back. I can't afford to lose this race with Senpai. Despite everything, I'm the kind of guy who's willing to give 110% for completely meaningless things. Hell yeah. That's why defeat isn't an option. I get the feeling this is what people call immaturity, but it's okay. After all, my opponent is older than I am. Tearing down the sparsely populated corridor, I glance at my watch. It's still okay. Most of the students haven't left their classrooms yet. Wouldn't it be an overstatement to call it a good start? Gradually increasing speed, I charge down the straight line course. Suddenly, the straight line course hits a corner. I pull around the corner, skillfully keeping my body under control as it's flung outward by centrifugal force. Don't question my pronunciation on that one. Or how I pronounce pronunciation right there. I totally didn't stumble over my tongue. I've won. Or so I thought. However, the moment the stairs leading up to the rooftop come into view, thud. My world goes black for a moment as I hear a dull noise. I open my eyes to find a familiar girl sitting on the corridor floor. Oh, it's Misaki-senpai. Teary eyes filled, Teary eyes with her hands on her forehead. But you can't see. Or what's the nature of your blindness? Are you like blackness blindness, or is just like your vision perception like all messed up and you are like quote unquote legally blind? Seems you had a head-on collision. Despite all appearances, I'm a pretty resilient guy, but unsurprisingly, Senpai hasn't escaped unscathed. How hard and where do you hit? How tall are you anyway? Like both of you. Because knowing Japanese girls, she's probably like 140 centimeters and weighs like 30 pounds. She makes a pitiful, tearful face. Still, given the speed at which we collided, if that's the extent of the damage, Senpai must be pretty resilient after all. And of course, because he's the protagonist, he's a towering giant of Japanese proportions standing at a whopping 5'10". Probably actually shorter than that. It seems like most protagonists are generally within like the 170 to 175 centimeter range, which is like 5'8" to 5'10", which is the range I'm in, so it makes it very easy to self-insert. Haha. Haven't realized that she's just run into somebody. Senpai hurriedly apologizes. I guess she hasn't realized that it's me. Because she can't see. It's kind of interesting to watch her cute reaction, so I decided to keep quiet, play dead. Her voice is hesitant, having received no reply. Unsure of what to do, she panics. I'm starting to feel a little sorry for her by now. Apologize. Senpai, it's me. Hello, Misaki-senpai. I couldn't help myself. You were just so much fun to watch. You probably don't have that much inertia to you. Again, you weigh like 30 pounds. Sorry. Really, I'm sorry. She regards me with a pouting expression. Sorry. Suddenly, her expression relaxes. Thank you. I really am sorry, Senpai. Well, that is vaguely threatening. She gives her usual mischievous smile. Sure. Yeah. Day by day, the wind grows colder. That's how it is today. Big storm blew through yesterday, as you could tell with my recording the day before. The last bits of it blew off like at the yesterday afternoon, I believe, and now it's that chill, low pressure area that's moving up the coast. I took the window AC unit out of my bedroom last night, and I was horrified. It was terrible, guys. Because my fucking window AC units are old and busted, just like this house. like the screen that's there to like stop the bugs from getting in is like cracked a bit. Normally that's no big deal. I just put some tape over it, but you know, I put the tape on there back in like May. It's October. It had come loose a bit, and the cold weather had driven in like all the stink bugs in the neighborhood. I'm talking like there were 50 plus of them like sticking to the back of my curtains. I was like, ugh! And just fucking got my vacuum cleaner out. Because normally like you find one, it's just like, oh, whatever, grab a tissue or paper towel and just like grab them and like wrap them up so even if they do spray, it just gets on there and you can flush them down the toilet or whatever. No, there were too many. On the bright side, they were like in like half active mode because of how cold it was. On the downside, the sheer number was staggering. So I just got the vacuum cleaner and took out the hose and just sucked them all up and then opened the window and emptied it out. Awful. I was, you know, like when you're lying in bed and like you think you feel something on your leg or something. I'm like, oh God, are they in my bed? Awful. Terrible. There's no mistake about it. Winter is coming. We line up before the door leading out of the rooftop. Out onto the rooftop. If you're going out of the rooftop, you'll fall to your death, which is bad. Don't do that. Grasping the knob, I open the door. I quickly close it. Let's not go out there. This isn't a place suitable for human beings. Cold doesn't even begin to describe that place. Let's just forget about it. Just put on a coat. Time sure passes quickly. And put on some pants. Like, how can you... Okay, guys, I'm gonna be real. Like, as someone from, like, the northeastern United States, where in the winter, like, single-digit temperatures are the norm, and, like, if it's in the negatives, like, -5 Fahrenheit, it's like, ooh, yeah, it's a bit nippy out today. Like, I don't understand how girls can, like, wear skirts and dresses, like, fuck, dude. Like, I'm wearing, like, 2 pairs of long johns and, like, my jeans and snow pants, and it's, like, obscenely cold. And people will be, like, fucking running. I particularly remember this from school. Like, people would be running inside, like, in their skirt. And it's like, you're nuts. Fun fact about pants. Romans, like, you know, the Romans, as they were moving north into, like, Gaul and Germania, they thought, oh, trousers? What a bunch of barbarians. Until they had to experience winters up there, and they're like, oh, I see. This tunic skirt thing, my man skirt. Yeah, this ain't gonna cut it, Chief. And they quickly adopted their pants. She looks downwards as if thinking about something. Yes, thinking about the geopolitical intricacies of the Roman Empire's expansion into Central Europe. Ah, you're graduating next year, aren't you? She nods sadly. Well, if you never want to leave school, just go to college to be a teacher and then come right back. Shall we walk back together? I've honestly thought about being a teacher before, like, as a possible career opportunity after I'm done with the military. Like, I can see myself doing it, but I would have to be definitely like a high school teacher, something like possibly history. And either that or like college. I absolutely could not teach middle schoolers. They are some of the most vicious, soulless, like black holes of empathy in the universe. At least if you're teaching high school, you're talking like half the people there 16 to 18. Like, okay, you're like almost a fully formed human being. Like, you have thoughts and can eloquently, well, I won't say eloquently for most of them, but you can form ideas and ask questions and think critically, and you're like 80% a complete human being. I can talk to you. I can deal with you. We can like have full-on discussions. But if you're talking like 13, 14, 12, it's like, okay, you is baby, literal child. Anything I say to you, it's not gonna stick. And then college, of course, that seems like it'd be frustrating in its own way, because you're dealing with literal children who think they're adults and try to, act in ways. It's you know how it is, you guys. They suck. I'm not gonna say anything too bad about them, because they're trying. They're trying to figure things out. But you get the new kids at work who are like 18, 19, and it's like, oh, I remember when I was that age. If I could go back, I would fucking kick the shit out of fucking 19, 20, even 21-year-old me. Go back 4 years. It's like, oh my god, you're a fucking loser. Fucking stuff him in a locker, steal his lunch money, and then give him some emotional advice and advice on how to navigate like personal social situations. Because like the way you're doing it right now, Chief, it ain't gonna cut it. Anyway, I've been rambling. Let's get back to the thing you guys are here for. We change our shoes at the nearby, completely depopulated entrance area. I wanted to say desolated. Why not? Cryptic. Tapping her toes against the floor, she pulls on her shoes. The two of us leave the entrance hall side by side. Passing the school gates, we set off on the road back home. At least, we're about to when Senpai's feet come to a stop. What's wrong? Where? Saying so, she points to the house in front of us. Oh! You're one of those people who, like... Yeah, I went to school with some of those that lived on the same street as the school. Like, it's the school's parking lot, and then right across the road is a residential area. Awful. Hell. You have no excuse to your teacher if you're late for school. It's here? It's directly opposite the school gates, separated only by the road. Are you serious? So there is. That's okay. Huh. Is this what you could really call a company? With a house this close, I bet you're never late. Well, yeah, but you're able to sleep in later than most people. Yeah, that's true. Yep, and the nice thing about living next to a school is the older you get, the girls keep staying the same age. You'd probably be grateful for it if you left something behind at school. What's more, it's probably thanks to an environment like this that Senpai can come to school on her own. Or, Japanese sidewalks are really good with this. You see it a lot, like those yellow lines going down the sidewalk with the bumps in them. Those are specifically for like visually impaired people with their walking sticks. That way they can feel where the sidewalk is going. I saw this once when I was touring a college before I decided I was going to join the military. Doing one of the group tours. There was a delivery truck that was like parked in the in kind of like one of those roads, but it's like one of those side roads where the sidewalk like splits, and the dude was, blind, has a walking stick, and he was like tapping around, and he's like, huh. And, one of our college guy people was like, hey, you need some help? And he's like, yeah, I thought I was over here, but, what? And he's like, oh, yeah, no, you are. It's just, a big delivery truck in the way. He's like, oh, okay, thanks. And just went around it. But, people can get around. They know their routes if they've done it for a while. I know. Why don't we go to the shopping district? It was only something I thought of on the spot. The sun's still high in the sky, so I thought we could go and have some fun together. Senpai? Suddenly, her expression clouds over, and she falls silent. Don't worry, we still got plenty of time. It's the end of the year, so I'll make sure it'll be lively. So what? So I'm sure it'll be lively. Again, look at me, just making things up. Ha ha ha. Great, now then let's go, Senpai. I grasp her hand and pull. I don't put any strength into it, of course. All I want to do is gently guide her. But... looking shocked, she shakes off my hand and collapses weakly into a sitting position on the ground. She quivers, looking terrified. Oh. It's the first time I've ever seen her like this. Senpai. Unsure of what to say, I simply call out to her. She looks up at me, forcing herself to smile. Good recovery? Sorry, I didn't mean for that to happen. She continues to speak as she slowly stands up. She shows me a smile, but there's still a hint of loneliness in her expression. Don't worry, we'll learn more about this later on your route. I see. Giving a little wave of her hand, she disappears inside her house. As she opens the door, she turns back just once in my direction. She whispers in a little voice before shutting the door. I stare at the door for a little while before heading down the road home by myself. Sinking deep into the sofa, I sip from a bowl of instant ramen. After filling my stomach, I move to my own room. Can you really fill your stomach in instant ramen? I mean, if you have like 5, sure. There's nothing especially entertaining on TV, so I kill some time by reading some magazines. Having reached a good point to stop, I dive beneath my blankets. Sure is cold. Get a heated blanket. Best like Christmas gift I've gotten in like the past 10 years. I scrunch my body up in order to prevent as much heat from escaping as possible. At last, posture on changing, I fall asleep. As always, it's the sound of the curtain being drawn back, letting in sunlight that shoots through to the back of my eyes. Well, I'm pretty sure all light goes to the back of your eyes because, that's how human visual perception works. Leave me alone. Got caught smoking, got suspended from school yesterday. Don't smoke, it's bad for you. With a thwomp, she seizes my blanket. Might just be my senior next year, Nagamori. You'll still treat me the same if that happens, won't you? She shoves my bag and uniform into my hands. I silently accept them and head downstairs. After brushing my teeth and changing into my uniform, I bump into Nagamori as she comes down the stairs. Even I can do it if I make the effort. I get up first and head down to the hallway.
たらゆっくり歩いていけるね。
Are you sure we didn't come too early today?
違うよ、いつもと一緒だよ。公平さえちゃんと起きて支度すればこんなに余裕があるんだよ。
Ugh. Is this impulse I've got to start running just habit then?
そんな焦ってばっかりして日常を送ってるとね、体にも悪いよ。
I mean, but it's probably good for him to, like, get at least a little cardio in the morning. Like, even if it's only, like, half a mile, that's still, like, more than, like, I'd say, like, 80% of the population runs in a day. Somewhat awkwardly, we walk along the path that we usually run down. I feel as though I'm about to accidentally swing my right arm and leg out at the same time. Like a toy soldier? Well, maybe that's an exaggeration.
そういや、昨日うちの猫がね、下痢しちゃって困ったんだよ。
Yeah? Which one?
白くて右耳だけ黒のブチが入ってるの。
Nagamori begins to earnestly detail the little everyday events in her life. Oh, that ugly guy.
もうブサイクじゃないもん。ハンサムだもん。
Dropping in response where appropriate, I enjoy the slow-paced morning. Dropping in responses. There was an S there. Plural. To make the sentence make sense. I spend the morning lessons half asleep, the material going right over my head. I'm so bored.
今日はちょっと早いけどこれで終わろうか。
Cheering erupts throughout the class as he closes the textbook with a thump. Looking at the clock, it's still 5 minutes until the chime
ただ
rings.
し他のクラスに迷惑がかかるから絶対に教室の外には出るなよ。
So saying, the physics teacher leaves the classroom. Now then, what to do? Hello? Guide? Cool, I'm not gonna worry about that. Go over to Satomura's seat. Yes? Is that right? Yeah, okay, sure. At around this time, no one cares what you do so long as you stay within the classroom. Those who eat in the classroom are already having an early lunch, and the cafeteria group is gathering around the door, waiting for the chime. Taking my bread with me, I head over to Satomura's seat. No escape. Careful, guy. Even a cornered rat will bite a cat. She looks up at me while remaining seated.
どうしたの？
Since we got time, why don't we eat here today?
寒いの。
I guess it's better than the heat, but I still can't say I like it.
私も暑いのは嫌です。
See if this guy gets it. Yeah, that's not surprising, with hair like that. What? It's well into the 1 bottle of shampoo per wash class. How about cutting it all off next time?
切りません。
I get the feeling that short hair would suit you in its own way. Well,
嫌です。
you're not wrong. Short hair is patrician tier, but that's beside the point. I'll even do it myself, personally.
絶対に嫌です。
Really? I would have liked to give it a try at least once.
自分の髪の毛を切ってください。
It's actually really hard, especially the back. And so... oh yeah, I actually have to read that. The chime rings for the end of 4th period, and the cafeteria crowd rushes outside all at once. A brief moment later, Satomura stands up from her seat. One good thing about that place is that you'll get a seat, even if you take your time getting there. Must be a fairly big cafeteria. Satomura leaves the classroom. Lining up right behind her, I follow her outside into the corridor. Let me just confirm one thing. You're going to that place to eat again, aren't you?
はい。
I see. I've always wondered,
はい。
just what were we doing there? just what is it that's there?
空き地のこと、
Yeah,
思い出の場所です。
deep. And
それだけです。
stowing my slippers away in my locker, I closed the door with a clang. So when Key formed, did they just like lift this plot point for canon? Guess we'll find out when we eventually get to her route. Stowing my slippers away in my locker, I closed the door with a clang.
行かないの？
Oh yeah, I'm coming. Following the steps of Satomura as she leaves the entrance hall, I quickly change my shoes and head through the doors myself. Ooh. I can't help but let loose a whimper as I make contact with the cold air outside. It seems Satomura feels the same way. Tightly pulling her jacket together, she trembles as she hugs herself. This is a little too much, isn't it? My words are transformed into white breaths as they spill outward. Satomura?
はい、
You paused before you responded there.
そんなことないです。
Do you just want to eat inside? Really?
はい、
Either way, just standing here isn't likely to do us any good. Let's go. I take the lead, with Satomura following behind. And so, we head towards the usual place. Oh, the wind stopped. I feel somewhat better now that the wind stopped and the sun is out. Somewhat better, but still. Taking a seat on the lawn, I take a bite of my usual bread. Munch, 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 munch. I'm done. Within moments, the curry bun disappears into my stomach. I guess just one bun isn't gonna cut it.
お腹空いているんですか？
Yeah, I'm a growing boy, you know.
朝は
Nothing. I didn't have the time.
だからです。
But I want to be able to sleep in as much as I can in the morning. It's nothing like rolling around in that dreamlike state. It's my greatest pleasure on the days when I have to go to school. Actually, in this case, as much as I can, means sleeping past noon.
私もです。
We both sigh at the same time. Oh, you're not a morning person either?
はい、
I got the impression that you were an early riser.
そんなことないです。寝起きはいつもぼーっとしてます。
Is that so?
はい。だからお弁当の下ごしらえはできるだけ前の日に済ませておきます。
Smart. I see. So, you make your own lunches too?
はい。
Sounds rough.
その方が好きなものを入れることができますから。
I see. I guess that's true.
はい。何？
Satomura looks away shyly as I stare at her face. Oh, I was just wondering whether you're actually going to eat that lunch. She hasn't touched her chopsticks for a while now.
お腹いっぱいなんです。
Don't tell me you were secretly eating during class. I see. So that's why your lunch is always so small. I get the feeling that she's silently denying my hypothesis. Am I wrong?
はい。
In that case, why are you full? Her gaze falls to her lunchbox as she whispers in reply.
調理実習で作ったものを食べたから。
Ah, I see now. Come to think of it, the girls did have home economics in third period. Weird how it's split up by gender, but okay. I remember once when some of the girls had baked cookies and were walking around handing them out to the boys. But most of the cookies were abnormal creations, which were as black as charcoal, or had sugar mixed up with salt. Ew. You could tell which ones to avoid when it came to the burnt ones. But the poisonous ones, the ones with mixed up ingredients, were unidentifiable solely by appearance, making them difficult to deal with. I know several people who'd accidentally eaten them and ended up being carried pale-faced to the infirmary. It wouldn't be that bad, it'd just be disgusting. I once made the mistake I wasn't paying attention when I was eating a bag of pretzels. And like, you know how pretzels, like the crumbs get to the bottom, but like so does like all the salt that breaks off? And thinking like, oh yeah, it's just the stuff on the bottom, like eating a bag of chips. I'll just pour it into my mouth. And I just ended up with a mouthful of salt. And undescribable. It's one of those things like, until you've had your mouth full of salt, it's like one, all the moisture is gone. Two, it's just like the only thing your brain says is salty. And you can't spit it out because it's like stuck, fused to your tongue. Like you try to go blah and spit it out, but it's stuck. It's like napalm. And you got to get like water and rinse it out. Even then, awful. What did you make this time? Ooh, clam miso? That sounds ballin'. You didn't wash the rice with detergent or anything like that, did you? You didn't accidentally pour the water used to wash the sand out of the clams into the cooking pot? Yeah, you do like you're pretty good at cooking, after all. Dude, look. There was a look in that sentence. She looked surprised. Made that lunch by yourself, didn't you? Yeah, her lunch of baked beans and shredded squash? Mixed in with, it looks like, going from the top down, those little sausages cut like octopus, fried something, and those little egg roll omelets. And then I see some apples cut like rabbits. I can't tell if that is a piece of broccoli or just garnish. Cucumber or some jalapenos. And what looks like fried rice or maybe mashed potatoes. I'm gonna go with fried rice because that makes a lot more sense. Or instead of cucumbers, it could be green peppers. Sure looks tasty. Although, the quantity is a little lacking. That'd be right for me too, if I ate it after my bread. She hurriedly puts the lid back on her lunchbox as though she dislikes it being looked at. Really aren't gonna eat that? Then, you mind if you like, Hey, in that case, why not give it to me instead? Went a little Australian there for some reason. I pointed the contents of the box beneath the lid. Not be a waste just to leave it. And after all the trouble you went to make such a tasty meal too. Her gaze alternates between the lunchbox and my face as she contemplates this for a moment. Natto, I just suppose. That's about it. A brief pause. Whenever I see natto spelled out, usually they just drop the U. Like, I know that it's the right way to spell it with the U on the end, but why? Like, I know the O is like a long O, and the U after a syllable ending with O in Japanese makes it a long syllable. It seems like most people just either put like the what is it? I don't know what the symbol is called. It's not an umlaut, but it has the same function as one by putting like, the line over the O to emphasize that it's a long syllable. Seems like that's what most people do when translating it. She presents the lunchbox on her lap to me. Another weird thing about localizing translations or, writing it out in English is, a popular Fate Stay Night character, Tosaka Rin, her name is usually spelled out in text, in the VN, and it seems like all the translators and everyone agrees, yes, we spell it out as TOHSAKA, And like, yeah, like, yep, that is how it's pronounced. But like, how many other translations do you see of like any other Japanese thing where they throw an H at the end of the O to, you know, give it that long O sound? Like, never? But it just seems like the English-speaking anime community has just accepted that, yep, Tosaka's name is T-O-H. I see translations sometimes with like T-O-U, or like the T with the long O with the line over it, and it's like, yeah, but while that is, I guess you could say, more correct of like a writing out of the name, it's like, yeah, but we've already agreed 15 years ago that it's spelled T-O-H-S-A-K-A. And I'm going to stop talking about Fate, because if I keep talking about Fate, this video is going to be 3 hours long, and 2 hours of that is going to be Fate talk. So enough Fate talk. You know, we'll get to do Fate talk, you know, maybe the near future with, you know, another Type Moon property that's not Fate or Tsukihime, because I've read all those. I might do Kagetsu Toya, though, because I've only read, like a couple hours of that. And, you know, that was a while ago, and I barely remember it, so, you know, leaving things open, you know, future's undecided. Because I've already done Tsukihime in my own time, like, ages ago, so not doing that, because I've learned the hard way, the Little Busters, rereading VNs for recordings, not a good idea. At all. Anyway. Her face has the most gentle expression I've ever seen on her. Seems like the expression she normally has in the CG, but I won't question it. As usual, though, her eyes are turned away from me. Thanks. Scrunching up my bread bag, I accept the lunchbox.
お箸洗ってきます。
No, it's okay. I restrain her as she's about to get up. I always carry around an extra pair of chopsticks just for times like these. That's a little weird, dude. I was gonna say, no, it's fine. It's not like you were sucking on the chopsticks when you put them in your mouth, were you? It was just like, up. Like, if it touched your lip, it's fine, whatever. People are weird about that kind of stuff. It's, unless you're like actively sick and contagious, it's not a big deal. I take them out from my uniform pocket and show her. Well, here I go. Splitting the chopsticks with a snap, I set off to work consuming the contents of the lunchbox. A little also weird that they're disposable wooden chopsticks. I thought you were like, oh, I have my own personal pair of washable, reusable chopsticks that I keep on me at all times. But he just has like wooden chopsticks in his pocket. Seems like it'd break, but what do I know? Much. I dig into the ground soy chicken and rice. I guess that's what the baked beans were. Much. Having stuffed my cheeks, I chew thoroughly before gulping it down in one motion. Delicious. The flavor has really sunken in well. I open the can of oolong tea, which I had also prepared earlier, and pour it down my throat. Whew. Pausing to take a breath, I turn back to the lunchbox once more. Next, I tackle an octopus-shaped sausage. Seizing its body with my chopsticks, I pop it into my mouth. Much. Delicious. I get the feeling that it's just a modified version of the sausages they sell at the supermarket. But in this case, I don't mind. When it's been properly cooked in a frying pan with the right condiments, it becomes unrecognizable as supermarket food. What's more, this rolled egg omelet is excellent too. And this quail egg, simple, but definitely tasty. I'm gonna assume that was the fried looking thing. Whew, now for some tea. Glug glug. Catching a breath after my oolong tea, I reach out with my chopsticks again. Much. Whew. Emptying the lunchbox and the can of oolong tea, I take another breath. All done. Thanks for the meal. Passing the vacant lunchbox back to Satomura, I turned to head back towards the school building. What did he leave in there, my guy? Is that like a fucking cigarette butt on the far end?
待って
Satomura stops me as I'm about to leave. What's wrong?
こんな時普通は感想を言うものです
10 points.
何点満点ですか
10. It was flawlessly delicious. That's my honest opinion. She turns her gaze from me back to the lunchbox. She murmurs faintly while staring at the empty lunchbox. Aren't you coming back? You'll be late, you know.
はい
Exchanging nods, we head back towards the entrance hall together. It really is cold out here. Suddenly, the breeze strikes up again, rustling the formerly silent trees. I shudder reflexively at the unexpected gust of wind. It'll probably only get colder from here on. That's just the sort of wind it was. Well, yeah, and that's generally how the seasons work. December's not the coldest. It's usually like late January, early February seems to be the coldest from, personal experience. Ugh. Oh god, I'm dying. Oof. Strawberry banana pancakes from IHOP will do that to you. But then again, I'm not familiar with Japanese weather patterns. See you later, Satomura.
はい
Nodding, she sits down at her seat. There's no point in standing, so I head back to my own seat. I'm bored. As always, there's not a lot to do during lunch once I've finished eating. Usually, I just sleep through it, but somehow, I don't feel sleepy. Hey, Nanase, let's do something. I poke Nanase, who's seated directly in front of me, in the back.
うるさいわね
Don't know why you found it necessary to specify that she's seated in front of you when we notice and can clearly see her there, but thank you. Who cares about some book? Hey man, reading is cool. Like, tonight, last night, I barely did any work at work because there was no work to be done. So I just busted through fucking... I don't want to say a good chunk, but I spent probably half my shift reading some Count of Monte Cristo. Huge book. Giant book. It's 1,100 pages, my god. And it's dense text. What? I can read. I promise I'm not stroking out and just unable to recognize the characters on the screen in front of me. Why don't you daringly tear a phone book in half like you usually do?
いつやったそんなこと
Back to the usual Nanase.
あのねうららかな午後に窓辺で一人読書をたしなむ
You don't have to force yourself to perform that particular feat, you know?
もう話しかけないで
So that's how it is it? Having tired of teasing Nanase, I slouch back into my seat and stretch. I feel sleepy. No, stop! You're making me sleepy. When it comes to afternoon classes, there's nothing better than sleep. I lie face down on my desk and close my eyes. At least let me sleep while we're at school.
ここで寝たらダメだよ
What? I'll have you know that this is my seat.
でも次の時間体育だよ
PE.
ほら
Her voice is a whisper. Yes, I know. For some reason, Japanese schools are weird. And they split it up. Changing in the classroom? Yeah, I get it. But, don't you have locker rooms? Question mark? I look around the classroom as instructed. Wah! Shockingly, all the guys in the class have transformed into girls. And they're all glaring at me.
早く出て行った方がいいよ
Looking again, half of them are girls from the neighboring class.
男子は隣のクラスで着替えだよ
Wah! I forgot! Whenever it's time for PE, the girls from the next class come over here while the boys change next door. Again, weird? It's a tradition in this co-ed school without changing rooms. Why aren't there changing rooms? That seems like something you should bring up to the, like the school board and be like, hey, we have a gym, but no changing rooms? Are there showers? I quickly pick up my PE clothes and leave the classroom. By the time I get to the neighboring classroom, it's already deserted. All that's left are abandoned uniforms folded over desks. I quickly pick an empty seat and change in my PE uniform before heading out into the corridor. Why do we have to run a marathon in this freezing weather? My footsteps begin to unconsciously grow lighter as the urge to skip class grows. As I sigh and walk down the corridor, someone calls out to me. Turning around, I see a smiling Misaki-senpai. Hello, senpai.
こんにちは、浩平くん。
Shouldn't you be in class?
よかった。やっぱり浩平くんだったんだね。
That's amazing, senpai. You could tell it was me just from that sigh?
さすがにため息だけで当たったのは今日が初めてだよ。
Oh, is that so?
自分でもびっくりしたよ。
So, what are you doing here, senpai? Times like this, in a place like this.
これから帰るところだよ。
About to?
早退じゃないよ。
Come to think of it, they did say something about that in homeroom this morning. Seems the teacher for the third year students have a conference about career choices today, so they've only got class for half the day. Nice.
浩平くんは？
I'm about to go home too.
体操服着て帰るの？
From behind senpai appears the figure of Miyama-san. They're probably going to go home together.
浩平くん、体操服なの？
Actually, I'm about to be forced to run around the sports ground.
ご苦労様です。
Yeah, that sounds like hell. I hate running on tracks. God, I fucking hate track running. One, because my bad shins, and most tracks are rubberized, but still, it's not the best. I prefer running on like trails because the dirt and sand gives way better, and like there's less like hard impact. Though I am more likely to step on a tree root and fucking roll my ankle and die. But if that happens, then hooray, I can get a waiver, and I don't have to run. Or if I get extra lucky and hurt myself real bad, I just get to sit around inside at work and can't do like anything at all besides the computer work. Be forms, bitch. Which isn't as bad as it sounds. Yeah, I'll give it my best.
それじゃあね。
Oh god, and this is like in the 90s, so they don't have like MP3 players where you can just put some headphones in and run. My dude would need to bring his fucking Walkman.
じゃあね、じゃないって。美咲も帰ったらダメだからね。どうして？今日は私の部活に付き合ってくれる約束だったでしょ？あ、そうだね。
I was about to say CD player, but I stopped myself for two reasons. Because one, portable CD players weren't really a thing until like the early 2000s, and two, don't try running with a portable CD player. It just causes it to skip a bunch. I learned that as a kid. It's finally a half lesson day, and you've got club activities.
うちの部は今が一番大切な時なのよ。私はそのお手伝いだよ。
I see. In that case, you give it your best too, senpai. We exchange nods.
バイバイ、浩平くん。
Finally, I head towards the sports ground on my own. PE having thankfully finished, it's finally time for class. Also, if you don't have changing rooms, like I said, where are you gonna shower? You just ran for like an entire period, and you're telling me none of you are fucking like sopping wet with sweat. And like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, in my disgusting sweaty mess, I'm just gonna put on my clean clothes and just sit like that? Ew. Hey, Nanase, let's stop off somewhere on the way home today.
甘いものが食べたいかな。
did you at least, like, change your underwear? Because that's honestly the worst part about, like, doing long-distance runs, is you just soak through. And, like, everything's soaked with sweat. And, like, yeah, I'm just gonna throw on my jeans with my fucking sweaty-ass underwear and sit down in class. No thank you.
ってだからいつからそんな仲になってんのよ。
Or not. Come on, let's go home together.
おあいにくさま、私は忙しいの。
Doubt. Time to stalk you.
あ、そうそう。もうついてこないでよ。
Too late. Whoa, she emphasizes her point even before I started following her. Are you sure I can't?
うん、ダメ。じゃあね、バイバイ。
Yeah, bye bye. I have no choice but to watch on as she strides out of the classroom on her own. Changing my shoes at the shoe shelf, I pass through the entrance hall and the deserted after-class courtyard to begin the walk back home. Casually finishing my homework, I lie down in bed while listening to a borrowed CD. At last, when I finish listening to the whole CD, I turn off the lights. And you know what? Turning off the lights and that sound, but the blinds being closed instead of open is what I'm about to hear, because I'm going to sleep. So, this is where we're going to end for today. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I hope to see you all next time, or, well, later today, maybe? For possibly either, depending on what I decide to do, either whatever gets uploaded, either the next episode of 1, or possibly the Muv-Love anime reaction, because I think today's the day episode 4 drops, but with how my recording, like, schedule is, today's supposed to be like my down day, but I don't know, man. Maybe I'll record it and upload it tomorrow. Dude, I don't fucking know. I don't know, man. If you got a better idea of how I should be doing this, leave it in the comments. Let me hear your thoughts. And this will also be this little end bit, even if you don't have any thoughts, just drop something down there to say, hey, I reached the end of the episode and I know what you're talking about. Say your favorite color. That'll be our code, between us real ones, to see who listens. All right. I'm gonna end it here before you guys lose any more brain cells, because they're fucking sucked into the ethereal black hole that is my empty brain. So, once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.